Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of ER TV. And today I'm super excited to bring you Sebastian Hilbert. Welcome, Sebastian.
Hi, Jade. Awesome to be here.
Now, Sebastian originates from Germany, but he now calls the beautiful Gold Coast home. And actually, we're practically neighbours when I am back in Australia, which clearly is not today. I'm still in beautiful Bali, still a little bit surf wet, but so excited to be interviewing the co-founder of Wellnesspreneur. He is the leading authority in helping health, wellness, and lifestyle professionals move away from trading time for money and getting more high-paying clients and sell a scalable program online. Now, anyone that's been around the iLab community, the ER community, knows that that is the key thing we want to do. How can we leverage and stop trading time for money? Now, Sebastian is on a mission to create 100,000 influential wellness entrepreneurs so that they can move the world to sustainable wellness. Oh my God, I actually just got goosebumps reading that. Oh my God. Sebastian's actually going to give us 3 top key takeaways today, and that is how to position your website correctly, how to structure your website easily to pique interest, and most importantly, how to build or tweak your website so that you can engage and convert, because it's all well and good if we get people going, oh, that's nice, but if they don't click to buy or they don't take action, then what's it all worth, right? So although today we're probably going to be talking mainly about health and wellness based businesses, anyone that is a service-based business, a coach, anyone that's really trading time for money, I want you to pay attention. I want you to go through this training, because you will get definitely some tips where you can make some adjustments. And if in the next 45 minutes you just take one thing away that helps you convert better, then I think that's a win for everybody. So I want to make sure we give you the most of Sebastian. So Sebastian, can you just give me like a super quick rundown of your background and why are you on this mission?
Thanks, Jade. Thanks for the lovely introduction. It's really, really great. My biggest driver for what I do is my family and the community where I come from. I grew up in a tiny village in Germany. I would say 200 people living there, 199 since I left. So it's really, really small. And the big three, yeah, it's tiny. The big 3, cancer, cardiovascular disease, and diabetes, are an epidemic over there. And I lost family, I lost friends to those diseases, chronic diseases. And before I came to Australia, I did preventable lifestyle diseases. So when I came to Australia, this whole new world opened up to me of therapists and people who do spiritual healing, wellness clinics and practices, and teaching all these amazing things. And I had a background in customer service from hospitality and was having a website design business, which morphed into creating a whole program for creating a whole online presence for any business owner. And when this new world opened up to me, I was like, I want to be part of moving the world to what I now say sustainable wellness. And I thought, if I can empower 100,000 therapists, health and lifestyle professionals, I can move and be part of moving the world to sustainable wellness. And I made that number 100,000 because that's my big dreaming goal.
That is amazing. I love it. I love it. And I think if there's more people can get enrolled in that, you will definitely reach and achieve that goal. No problems. I definitely want to hook you up with my friend Rory, who's going to be facilitating the Health iLab, because he is on a similar journey. So he's not really about making them influential in the way that you do, but it's about gathering the people and how we can make more blue zones and how we can look at doing the preventative things rather than trying to do the cures, because we don't need a cure if we can prevent, right?
Love it. Yeah. It's all about empowering people, not fixing.
Yes. Yes, I love it. Okay, so let's get into your training for today. Tell us all about it. How can these people start having more impact and stop trading time for money?
Okay, so basically what I want to go through today is it's all focused on websites, because I've seen so many bad websites, and we're actually going to go through the 3 number 1 mistakes I came across over the past 7 years that I've seen on websites all over the place, not just in the health industry, but in service-based business in general. Then I will show you our wellness product ecosystem, which shows you exactly how to position your website in your whole marketing, in your whole online presence, so you actually know what to focus on with your website and how to position it. The last thing we will do, I will show you a structure of a highly converting and engaging website that you can use to really, what you said before, get those visitors not only to engage and scroll down and build that know, like, and trust, but also to actually take action in whatever journey you want to take them on.
Amazing.
Okay, so do you want me to get right into it, or?
Let's get stuck in.
Okay, sure.
I can't wait to see you draw on your iPad.
Awesome, cool. All right, so let me share what I do, Jade. I will share my iPad so I can show people actually a little bit of a visual of what I'm talking about, because there will be a few things that are just much easier to understand when I can see it. So I share my iPad, and please let me know if you can see it when it comes up. Here we go.
Yep. Got it.
Okay. So basically, just what we just said. So we talk about the business owner make with their website. Then we look at the wellness product ecosystem, and then I'll show you the structure and website that works. So number one mistakes that I see. I always like to compare it with an arrogant brick that has no feelings for anyone else. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. Websites are a little bit like that. Imagine this scenario. A person is a male and sees the dream woman of his life across the street. Now he walks over and tells her, I'm really good looking, have lots of awards, I can do many, many things at a time, look how amazing I am. Now, how would you think that would go down for that woman? What would she feel? It's like chasing the sale instead of thinking about and tuning in what I say, the WIIFM radio station. Some of you may have heard of that already. It's what's in it for me. Right? Instead of chasing this sale, you really need to have content and things on your website that are all about the visitor, all about the person that is coming to your website with some kind of problem, with some kind of search that they were doing in search engines, instead of you chasing the sale. So that's the first step, the first mistake that person going for the dream woman of a life makes. Now, what happens, the next problem that happens here is that he looks a little bit like a brick wall. And we compare this with websites a little bit like what we often see, a brick wall. So let me quickly draw it up. So you may have seen websites where you have lots of different things you can do. One association does it really, really well, and that's the German government. If you ever want to see what a real brick wall website looks like, go to one of the German government websites, and you would just be feeling like you're just bombarded with all the different, not unconscious, right? So you actually don't take any actions. So you need to find a way to really make it really simple and engaging so that someone is not dropping off your website right away when they land on it. That's actually one of the number one factors for your search engine optimization. So many people go around and being sold by those search engine agencies, search engine optimization agencies, and being sold backlinks and all these like little things that they should do. But one of the number one factors is actually the measurement that Google has when someone puts in a keyword on a search and the results that are shown and clicks on it and comes straight back within 10 seconds. That's like one of the few measurements that Google or search engines in general, I always say Google because they are the number one and instead of search engine. So that means that that person who just clicked on that link and went to their website and came straight back actually hasn't found what they were looking for. So the user experience is not very good, which means that website now ranks much lower for that keyword. So making sure that your visitor actually, yes.
You repeat the last 30 seconds. We dropped air for a minute, so I don't think the recording got you. So if you can just go back to where you were saying the agencies, so the little things like backlinks and that, but the most important thing is actually when you click through on the keywords. If you can just go from there for me again.
But most important, okay. So the most important thing that you need to focus on is keeping your visitors on your website. If anyone has heard about a bounce rate, they will know what I'm talking about. It's about not getting someone or sending someone straight back from where they came from. So don't have a brick wall website. Number one mistake is knocking someone unconscious when they come to your website. But let's get back to our scenario. So that, arrogant brick that I was using as an example doesn't stop there. Now he makes the worst mistake that you can make in that situation if you just presented yourself as how great you are. We all like to do it on our website. So we put all the awards up, we put all the great things that we do and like to talk about ourselves. Now that's maybe good for our ego, but not good for our visitor. And then the third mistake is to then asking to marry that person on that very first date. Now, Bob, if you get lucky, you may get one person out of a few hundred, but really not the best strategy. So again, we need to find a way on how we can get our visitors on the. If you would ask that woman of your life for coffee instead of marry you, and then build a bit of know, like, and trust, then maybe you have a better chance at the end. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So I want to go through how you can avoid all these mistakes now in the next 2 steps. Does it sound like under here pretty clear?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, and I love the analogy as well.
So let's go. Yes. Wanted to get a little bit of feedback, so on the right spot here. Okay, so let's focus on the last mistake, the asking to marry on the very first day. What we teach, and I show you a simplified version of this now, instead of the have to explain to you how to position your website and not to marry on the first day. So what we say you should have in your business is a wellness product ecosystem. So you may have learned in iLab and other courses, and you may be on that journey already and have heard about packaging things up, right? So you may have created your feature product, what we call it already. So your program, or you're thinking about creating a program. That's something that you want to sell. Now, if you ask someone to buy your program on your website, that's like asking to marry on the first day. So let's take it a step back and think about that coffee idea or tea or whatever it is for your audience, right? So what we say, what you should, yes?
A glass of wine.
A glass of wine, even better, yeah. Me as German, I may go for a Hefeweizen, a nice Weiss beer. So understand your point.
Understand your avatar, yeah.
That's right, yeah, that's right. So whatever it is that you think your ideal client would enjoy, a little quick win, you've probably seen it on our website, like a downloadable or a free video course or something like that. That's what you should have as a little friendly freebie that you can exchange for a name and an email. And from here, you can take people on your wellness client journey. And again, you can adapt that for your business. If you're not in the wellness industry, you still have to create this journey and think about the stepping stones that someone needs to go through to build that know, like, and trust, so they are ready for you to talk to you, so you can sell your future product. If you have that in place, it will be much easier to get people to convert. So we then say, after the friendly freebie, you should have another little stepping stone, which is an entry product. Could be a webinar, could be a live workshop, something that is takes a little bit more commitment, right? It's not just a quick download and be done and maybe never look at the download, but it's actually an experience you as a business owner and what you have to offer a little bit more. And then the fourth step is an after sale. Now, without going into these too deeply, the big thing, and that's my number one thing, let's say, that's my number one advice for you in terms of online marketing. This is the real power of online. Yeah. That you can automate this side where you build the know, like, and trust, where your profit and impact is really low. So if you look at that as profit and impact, on this side, it's really low. So the power of online, instead of you doing it one at a time, going to network meeting, then catching up with that person for coffee, having to drive an hour to whatever cafe you meet that person, and doing it one at a time. With the online world, you can do that at scale with a lot of people at the same time. But you need to understand that it all starts with the left-hand side.
Yeah. That's the same thing that we run for iLab in terms of, we talk about the value cycle, and that's like, how do you go from having followers to turning them into community, to turning them into prospects, turning them into leads, and then turning them into customers, and then how do you turn them into raving loyal fans? But then along that is, like what you're talking here, it's that product ecosystem, it's the product pathway. Like, what's your freebie, what's your or freemium, and then what's your entry level, what's your like economy class on the plane product, what's your business class, and what's your first class, and then framing it up so that you can take them on the journey. So like you said, you're not rushing in to ask them to buy to do the wedding too early.
Exactly, yeah. Build that know, like, and trust. Love it. Yeah, Jade, you completely nailed that, and it's so true. And now, what I then you also need to consider on that one, that your channels. So you have different marketing channels, right? So we always say you have your partners, you have social media, you have workshops, live event interviews like this, and you have advertising. And the fifth one is your website. Now, talking about positioning your website, it is a channel to keep people, to fill your wellness product ecosystem, but also to keep people on this journey. So if you just share value, and this is all set up, this is automated, that leads into a sales conversation to sell your featured product. And that is all automated. It's an online calendar, and you just need to show up. Now the beauty starts in, you don't have to worry about someone taking a week to go through this process or 6 months. Right? It doesn't matter to you. All you do is now sharing value, providing transformational information and advice through your channels, because you know if you focus on getting people to sign up for your friendly freebie, let's say you get 100 people to sign up for your friendly freebie, 40 sign up for your entry product, and from there you get 2 sales of your feature product. Maybe more, might be less for you. If you know those numbers, then you just need to know, you know what to focus on your channels to make the money you need. Right? You can work backwards from it, right? Also, all of a sudden, advertising makes sense. Right? Most people make the mistake, they're trying to advertise their future product and sell that. But instead, if you know it costs you $200 to get those 100 downloads on your freebie, and you know from there you make 2 sales, which may be $3,000, $5,000, whatever it is, but then you know those $200 spent on advertising is money well spent.
Yeah.
Right?
And for those of you that have tuned into ERTV before, you would have heard the episode I did with Martine where we go really into detail on that and the importance of the metrics, understanding your numbers. And it's a big part of iLab as well, like really getting nitty gritty in terms of understanding these numbers, because then you can make the decisions. Because some people go, oh, I don't want to spend $500 on advertising. I don't have $500. But then when you go, well, if that $500 results in $6,000, if with your example of 2, say $3,000 sales, well, now are you willing to pay? So if you know your numbers and you really measure them and you pay attention to them, because too many of us like put their head under the covers, right? And we don't want to measure it. And there's a lot of us that are in our system, we call them we go by the profiles. They might be creators or stars, and maybe they're not so detail oriented, and the thought of a number makes them want to vomit. But empowers you to make these decisions and will exponentially grow your business. So I love this, Sebastian. Like once you've got the confidence and you know those numbers, like the decisions become easy to make, right? They become a no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. Become a no-brainer. So true. And you need to form that baseline. I also like you have to do something and make sure you measure it so you can form that baseline. And then, as you can see, then as you said, you can make those decisions about where to invest, where you spend your time. We're all so time poor, and so many people come to me and say, like, there's all these different things that I should do, can do, and I just don't know where to spend that little bit of time that I have besides working, with my time or money, treating patients or servicing my clients. Where do I spend it more effectively? Creating that baseline will make. Let's go back to website. This is where we position our website. So the focus of our website needs to be majorly the friendly freebie. Obviously, not everything on your website should be about selling your friendly freebie, and that's a landing page, right? So let me go into the next step where I now show you the highly converting and engaging structure of a website. Okay. It was just really important for me that you understand that, and there was lots of nuggets of gold that we shared here besides that as well. But it's really important to understand where your website sits and how you position that, so you don't ask to marry someone at the first day. So where we need to start to fix the problem of a brick wall website and getting people to engage is the above default content. So the above default content, for everyone who has not heard of that term yet, is everything on your website that I can see without scrolling. So it comes from newspapers. If you imagine going to a newspaper stand and you see all the newspapers next to each other, they're all folded up. And what you see is everything what is above that half fold of the newspaper. Now, you may see a big picture and you may see a couple of headlines, and whatever grabs your eye and piques your interest will engage you and convert you to thinking we need to have for our above default content on thousands of people, what their eye does when someone lands on your website and sees your above default. So we have our logo on the top left, and that's where the eye starts. From the logo on the top left, where the eye goes right away, is really good, because from wherever you come, you may have seen on social media or on a blog or an interview, you may have seen the logo of that company that you wanted to check out. So having that logo up there right away is like, yeah, tick, I'm in the right place. Let's go further. So having that first little cue is very important. Now then we have our menu. And here happens a very important part that I want to make really, really clear to you guys. Everyone that has an exact agenda in their mind, so they may want to know your contact details, they want to know your opening hours, they're looking for a particular blog, they want to see who you are as a person. Everyone who knows exactly what they want, they go through your menu. You read through your menu and will click on what they're looking for. So meaning all of those people are served with your menu. They're done. So we don't need to worry about those people on the rest of our website, on our homepage. What everyone who doesn't click on it, they are not really sure yet. They're not really sure yet if you solve their problems. They're not really sure yet if you are having a solution, and they're not really sure yet where to start. So that's what we need to focus on for the rest of our homepage. So let's continue where the eye goes. The eye goes down on the right-hand side after it hasn't found anything in the menu. So if you look on any does it well, Upwork, freelance website does it well, any CRM website usually does it well. They have a really simple short menu, logo on the top left, and then they have it on usually about half of the rest of the above default content. There's a little bit of text here, and underneath is usually a button. Now, this bit of text is it that will keep people on your website and a little bit help moms to create more energy and vitality in their day-to-day life within 30 days. It's specific because I say 30 days. It's unique because it's for moms who look for that particular benefit, number 3, that I just pointed out. So if you are a client who's looking for that,
We're back.
we're back.
Sorry about it, guys. We have the Bali internet.
So many beautiful things in Bali, but the internet is one of the downfalls.
Sketchy. Yeah.
Okay, so let me find the cue again. So we just said the eye goes down on the right-hand side, and then we have a bit of text there. a bit of text, and underneath we usually have a nice bright button. Now that bit of text is really important. It's a one-liner that needs to be specific, benefit-rich, and unique. So repeat that. Specific, benefit-rich, and unique. For instance, I help moms who want more vitality and energy in their day to achieve that in 30 days. But you get where I'm getting here,
Tell them
right?
what they get
So,
by when. I find that, and that's something we really teach in iLab as well, is like, if you can communicate the what by when, it creates the certainty, and it really helps people along the journey. But more importantly, it gives you the guiding star of what you're actually going to deliver. Like,
absolutely.
like your customer promises, this is what I'm going to do for you.
Yeah, yeah, and it's about them, right? So it's not saying, "Hey, I have 5 awards and I'm really amazing what I do," like our arrogant brief from beforehand. It's like, here is a promise that I can do for you because I understand you and I know what you want. So that engages and grabs.
Right.
And if you don't take anything away but this today, it's all about that, what's in it for your customer. What can you do for you? That's how you need to structure your website. Underneath is a big button. I always say, CRM systems or Apples or startups or Upwork does this really well. The above default content. You can see that one line on the right hand side, and underneath you find a button which is usually a free trial. Now, what's the free trial? The free trial is our friendly freebie. They understand that when you're on that point, when you pass by the menu and you don't have any specifics you're looking for, we need to give you an opportunity to try out without any big commitment, give you a little quick win, so that you can further understand our services and who we are. And that's the same for you. So that button is, start your journey here. Goes to your landing page for your friendly freebie. After that, the eye goes to the left and kind of does a little bit of a loop. Now, above the fold,
Go. And we're back.
We're back. So the eye does a loop, and what I suggest here at that point is to just fill that rest of your top part of the homepage with a nice picture of you, or maybe a customer, or you speaking somewhere. Whatever it is. It should be something that represents you, and something that engages me and gets me. But here's your above default content. One big thing I recommend, and again, that's also shown in many studies. It shouldn't be more than a button down here. That's already 5. So that doesn't always work. I understand that, but that is a little rule of thumb for you to avoid having a brick wall website. Our attention span in our world is continuously decreasing. It's going less and less. It needs to be more straightforward and more guided than ever before. So try to keep it as 5. Usually you can. A drop-down menu also is another things to do, right? So if you have a drop-down menu, that basically makes your above default really quickly a brick wall website. So have like main pages that you lead off to, and from there you can describe what you wanted to put in the site. That above default, let's do the last step, the rest of your homepage. Jay, what do you think about the above default content? Does it make sense?
It makes perfect sense. And I love the analogy again, because it's so true. So often we're like, hey, we're trying to prove ourselves, right? Like, I have self-worth issues, so like me, trust me. Like, I feel like if I show you all the shiny things and all my awards and that, then maybe you'll want to be my friend. But really, and this is what I used to teach. I come from a recruitment background, and I used to teach this all the time with writing advertisements. It's what's in it for them. People only read the top 20% of the copy, and that's the same thing as above the fold, right? So you need to talk to specifically what's in it for them, and let them know that it is for them first, and then you can go into your proof. So I really like this, and I love that you understand where the eye goes. And I was like, holy shit, I never thought about that, but that's what your eye does. And yeah, so I think this is great. Amazing.
Awesome, cool. And you said something there which I just wanted to clear up. Like when I said the WIIFM radio station, what's in it for me, that's from your point of view, what's in it for them.
For them, yeah, for the for the person watching. What's in it for me is the human watching it, not what's in it for you as the person selling it.
Exactly. So very, very, very important little nuance there that needs to be clear.
Yeah, that is the most important thing. Yeah.
So let's go to our homepage structure. As everyone can see, so we got our above default content.
I did when I did my facilitator training for iLab, and we had to draw like the wealth spectrum and the lighthouse and the profiles and that. And then one of them was like, "You look like drunk Picasso." I'm not sure. We could get you templates for yours. I'm like, that's not nice. That's not nice at all. And this time, my host was like, "Oh my gosh, you nailed it. Have you been practicing?" I'm like, "Yes." Well, I wasn't going to be given a bloody kid's template, was I?
It's very good to write very small or not very readable, because he used to be a teacher, and if you do that, that makes people focusing more on what you say and they want to figure it out. So I use that as a nice excuse for me not taking too much care.
I like it.
Very good. The next thing, the next section should be about what we call your external why. What is your external why? Your external why is what happened or what changed in the past 10 years in the world, that economically, socially, and politically, that makes your business relevant and important right now. So, for instance, I can talk about how the digital world changes how we live and how we do business everywhere in the world. And I can have a conversation for ages, and most importantly, with anyone. So your external why is something that's well known in the world, and you can talk with anyone about it. What means why this is so important to have that up there is because it engages anyone. It's like, yes, I get that. It's like getting someone to say yes after you grab them above the fold. Yes, I get that. So for someone who is dealing with stress, you can talk about how we get busier and busier, how we more devices, how some social media affects us, and all these things. I'm sure you know that very best what that is for your business. But having a small paragraph right up there is always very good. Now then, usually if it works, I put in a testimonial. I see often website having a testimonial page. Your testimonials should be spread out through your website, underlining what you propose or say on your website. So testimonials, you will see me drawing that yellow line, the rest of the structure as a section breaker, and you put that in wherever it fits for you with your testimonials. But the social proof should be always there. So then we talk about the problems.
Just quickly on social proof. Some people don't understand what social proof is. Just social proof is like when you're walking down the street and you see restaurants and there's empty restaurants, you don't go in them. When you walk to the busy restaurant, you like see all the people in there eating, you're more likely to go in. There's another analogy of like you walk past all the nightclubs on the street and you don't go into the ones with no people in it, you go into the ones with the people in it, right? They must be good. So that is your social proof. And social proof on your website shows up in testimonials, ideally with people's faces, right, Sebastian? Is that what you'd say? Like the person who wrote it, if you could get their picture and humanize them more, would be ideal? I think he agrees.
Video testimonials is the best, and then with so it's those things in terms of design, and don't get caught up on them and with them. If you don't let this stuff, ideally yes, but use whatever you got.
Yeah, something's better than nothing, right?
Yeah, exactly. So after problems, when you just shared with what problems you solve, you then basically connected with your visitor on the levels like where he says, I see you get me, right? You take. So now obviously, so what goes on in the visitor's head now is like, okay, you get me, what can you do for me? So now we need to go outcomes. And I remember Jack DeLosa from the Entourage. Jay, you told me you've been part of the Entourage and worked with them a lot. Jack DeLosa said once, or maybe it was his business partner, Peter. When it comes to outcomes,
startup grind next month for us. Yes.
Oh, cool. So think about the effect of the outcome of the what. So say again, the effect of the outcome of the what. That's one of the biggest takeaway I got from those incredible people. If you do massages, what's the outcome? You loosen the muscles, yeah, and you make the muscles work better. But what's the effect of that on the lives on the persons you're treating, on the life of the person that you're treating? So they have more energy during the day. They can perform their sports better. They may be able to play with their kids better. Whatever works for your mind. So what's the effect of the outcome of the what? That's what really sells and creates an emotional connection with your reader.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, amazing.
After the outcomes,
mentors for us. He talks about that as the so that. So you can say, we do this so that. So your thing could be you help wellness entrepreneurs to stop trading time for money so that they can spend more time with their kids, or so that they can have more freedom, or so that they can grow their business and scale, or whatever it is. It's the so that which hooks into that emotional feeling and that key outcome that they want to have.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that. So that's such a good way of getting there. Like often we have the problem to actually get there, and we just need some little thinking cues. So that is very good. And people buy emotionally, right? They buy stuff on an emotional level. They have that emotional connection. So what happens now? So we said like, okay, you get me because we just shown that you understand my problems. What you're offering me, I really like. I want that. So now my next focus is, so who are you? So what I then say, because under that, nobody cares who you are really, right? So I want to first make sure that what you can give and deliver is what I want. So, but then the next question is, who are you? And the most, on all the websites I've seen, the most visited website after the homepage is usually about page, the team page, where it's more about the people behind the business. So what I suggest, have maybe, again, a picture of you and then an excerpt of your story with a text link to your About Us page or About Me or whatever it is. So people want to know more, they can go there. After that, you have a bit of space for your solution. So you can introduce your program a little bit. Maybe it's even your entry product. Maybe it's a free discovery session. So you can play there a little bit. I find that it's quite different for different markets. Some markets, they want to go for a call, or other people there like to just know a little bit more about the program. So there's different things you can do, but it's usually that next step on your client journey that I want to know more about some kind of solution that you just introduced, if they haven't gone off to your About a page yet. And then very important, the very last step, if they haven't made any decisions until that point, the only thing that you then can try and do is get them to take the very first little step and access your friendly freebie. Right? Every single page needs to have a call to action. I had a client, a wellness clinic, who spent $50,000 on a new website and a radio campaign, getting almost 0 to none out of it because the agency who done it was not invested in them, did not actually understand what they were trying to do, and build a website that was pretty. You know, that's another thing. Like, design is not the most important part. It's nice to make it pretty, but content is key. And they had built a website which were looking pretty, but had none of these things that we talked about in there. And you know, there was a website which is that arrogant prick, right? And then most important, we went in for like a fraction of the cost, changed a bit of the wording, put a call to action on the bottom of the page, and changed their business in 30 days, literally in 30 days, because all of a sudden they got bookings in from their website, people understood what we're doing, and you know, it's actually really simple if you first of all have someone who's invested in you, understanding what you want to achieve. And secondly, just understanding some basic principles on how human behavior works and what people are out there to do. Okay, so you we have it, Jade. We talked about how to.
Yeah.
So here we have it, Jade. We talked about how you can avoid not being, how you can avoid being an arrogant prick with your website, unconscious when they first visit your website, and how you structure your website so it engages and converts people in a way that they are taken on a journey, and you can position your website in the right way so it works for your whole online presence.
Amazing. So it's such valuable content there, and I really love it because it is in sync with what we teach with iLab, and it's like the next step. Like, okay, you've figured out these things now. They go back and people go and like get conned into spending $50,000 on a website, and you're like, oh no, you didn't need that. Like, you just needed something simple, and you just needed, like you said, content that connects. And it's like, so I'm so grateful for you for sharing this. And I know that you've made a downloadable for us as well, a website that works checklist, which I think would be super beneficial to everyone. So we will make sure that that's available for everyone with this video as well. But tell us, like, if people want to connect with you, what's your social media? How can people find the Wellnesspreneur?
Yeah, so the easiest way is literally to go on Facebook and type in Wellnesspreneur.
Beautiful.
And if you type in Mental Wellnesspreneurs, and you will find our page, and then you can just like us and get in touch with us and get much more of these little nuggets of gold that we hear all the time.
Awesome. We'll put a link in the bio as well, though, so that's amazing. But
and the friendly freebie you can get. That's right.
Yes, we get the freebie. So thank you so much for spending time with me today. Okay, so I appreciate you putting up with my glitchy Bali internet, but look, guys, when it looks like this, like really, we can deal with the glitchy internet here and there.
Yeah, it makes it all good again.
It does. It's one of the reasons why I teach iLab here, because I get to come and hang out and be in the environment. And I don't know about you, Sebastian, do you find that the environment that you're in heavily affects your creativity and your ability to sort of do the deep work, or are you not affected by environment?
Oh, I think whoever says they're not affected by environment, there must be a superhuman. We moved up here from Canberra. Yeah, and now we have all this. I look to the right hinterland because I made this happen. Right, I made this happen for myself to be wherever I wanted to be, have a nice home, beautiful view, and that I can feel that for the past 3 months that it has really empowered me. So
yeah, just makes the world of difference, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful. Well, I'm going to say thank you so very much for sharing your wisdom. I know all of the watchers and listeners will be so grateful too. And I look forward to catching up with you for a coffee when I get back from the Mentawis and seeing what else we can do together.
Oh my goodness. I'm so looking forward to that. Very excited about that. Truly excited.
Awesome.
Thank you so much again for the opportunity.
No problems at all.